Hi everyone, Corey here with Team Cramer Fishing, and this video is going to be a review of the Shimano Sienna 1000 FE. Okay, if you haven't watched any of our reviews before, they're a little bit different than some of the reviews that you'll see. Some of the better reviews out there right now they'll get a reel in, they'll go through all the specs, they'll really inspect it, they'll tell you what they think about all the components and everything that goes into the reel. That's not what this review is going to be about. That's not usually what most of our reviews are about. My approach is to get a reel, use it quite a bit, at least one whole season. In the case of this reel, we've had it for 2 seasons with moderate use. So, and then come back and talk about what it actually did in the real world. Is it doing what it's supposed to do? How's it wearing? How's it working? So that's the type of review this is. We don't take free products from companies, and so we bought this reel ourselves. I bought this one on Amazon. So that's where we're at going in. This is just going to be kind of a performance review after a couple years of using the reel. Okay, first a little background on how we ended up picking this reel up. We tried about 2 years ago, or maybe 2.5 years ago, we tried out an inexpensive Chinese reel off of Amazon. I want to say I paid under $20 for it. It was a Suge Lang reel, and the reel worked pretty well. These are 1000 size reels, so they're small. They're meant primarily for panfish or trout, and then a little bit of bass fishing, but they can usually handle a bigger fish if you happen to get one on your line. Okay, so that's the size of reel that we're talking about. That reel broke. One of the screws came off of the bail, and when Vivian was fishing with it, we lost it. We have a video and I have a review of that reel already on the site. So we replaced it with the Shimano Sienna 1000 size, which is almost the same size, which is pretty much the same size as the one we replaced. We did have to pay a little bit more money for this one. Okay, currently on Amazon, I just checked the price, and right now it's selling for $43. Now, when we bought this reel 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure I remember paying about $30 for it. So keep an eye out for deals. I'll put a link in the description to the Amazon page. Look for different. That's the Prime price too, with free shipping. So if you don't have Amazon Prime, you can probably get it for a little bit less money. I saw one for like 33 bucks on there, plus shipping, so that would get it under 40 probably. So we'll say $30 to $40, which puts it in the same price range as the Casking Sharky 2, which I have a review on as well. So the Sharky 2 is actually a 1500 size reel. The spool is a little bit bigger, but aside from that, they're about the same weight, and generally speaking, the reels are pretty comparable, other than the spool size, I would say. I have a review on this after a whole year's worth of use. Now, after a couple years worth of heavy use on the Casking Sharky 2, they just get worn out. They have a lot of plastic parts. I had never had one of these fail on me yet. And you can see from the wear on this, even just on the handle, I've worn it smooth. I've used this reel so much. So it's gotten plenty of use, but it does get a little knocky. It does get, after, I would say, 2 years of solid use. And I want to say this reel cost in the high 30s when I bought it, like $38-ish. So right in the same range as this Shimano Sienna 1000. Now, I'm going to say we haven't used this Sienna as much as I had used the Sharky. So the 2 years versus 2 years comparison isn't quite apples to apples. This has mostly been my daughter's reel, and she's notorious for not treating her reels that great, but after 2 years, this reel's still, I mean, in good shape. I didn't clean it up at all. I mean, you can see there's mud and stuff on it right here. We have this strung with 6-pound line. 6-pound suffix is what it has on it now. And that's just about the right size for catching almost anything that you want to catch with this reel. Now I know people, I don't recall us catching any bigger fish on this with this reel. You know, sometimes you'll get an accidental big fish when you're just kind of fishing for smaller fish, where you really get to test the reel out. We haven't had one of those on this reel that I can remember, but I have friends who have caught like flathead catfish on this same reel. So I think for the occasional big fish that comes along and surprises you, your reel's it's not just gonna break or whatever. Overall, I've been very impressed with this reel. I mean, if you can get a cheaper reel for $30 or $40 that's gonna last you more than 2 or 3 years, and this one feels like, I mean, it feels like it could go another 5 years with moderate use. I think if you were using heavier, if you were doing heavier use, it might not go as long, but no complaints at all. Now she mostly uses it. Occasionally I'll pick it up and use it, so I have got a chance to actually you know, test just the functionality of it, and it's perfectly fine. I mean, it just does everything the way that it's supposed to do. I recommend this reel for the price point that it's at. Now I will say, when you start getting into the $40 range, you're getting borderline expensive. But at $30, if you find them for $30, which you will be able to if you just keep an eye out on Amazon. I know I paid about $30 for this one. Or if you can get it secondhand or on eBay, you know, for 30 bucks, it's one of the better choices you can make. I recently had somebody communicating back and forth with me on some rod reviews that I had done, and they were trying to get, I don't know if it was their first setup, but it was going to be their main setup, and we were talking about the light ugly stick GX2 that I had recommended for multi-species fishing, and then we were talking about reels too. And I didn't mention this one to them. I had mentioned it in one of my other videos, but this is what they ended up going with for a reel, and I think that was a really good choice. If you know, most people when they go fishing, especially if they're just starting out fishing, or you know, they don't have a ton of equipment, they're going to be fishing for average size largemouth bass, panfish, you know, crappie, maybe some channel catfish if they can find them. But they really want a reel that can do like a wide range of things that isn't too expensive, you know, but that's not going to break like some of the Chinese stuff, right? So, and that doesn't mean that parts of this reel weren't made in China. I'm sure that if I looked hard enough, I would find out, you know, almost everything is, but it's not Chinese designed, made, you know. There's a real brand that's attached to this who has some incentive of putting out a reasonably good product, okay? Okay, now I'm gonna pull Vivian in, and she's gonna talk a little bit about what she thinks of the reel, because she's the one that uses it the most. And I haven't talked with her. She just walked in while I was doing the review. Here you go.
I think it's a great reel because it's really easy to unscrew and like put new line in, and the line stays. And I just think it's a great reel because it's durable, and I've used it for a while.
Yeah, it's in pretty good shape too, compared to your other reels.
I can set it like this and not get it sandy, because Dad hates when I do that. Here, you take.
So would you, if another kid your age was looking to get a reel,
yeah, I'd recommend that.
You would recommend that one? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, well, there you have it from the primary user of the reel. So Shimano Sienna 1000, good for probably 90% of the applications most anglers are going to use. And give it a try if you're in the market for an affordable but pretty high quality reel, and very functional reel too.
And you can yeet it around and it won't break.
Well, I wouldn't say it won't break, but we haven't broken it yet. Thanks for watching Team Cramer Fishing. Check out some of our other review videos and make sure to subscribe.